Alright, we're working on this bird's eye cello. Old, who knows where it's made. There's the bird's eye. On the sides and the back. It was very rough shape. It's all in pieces when we got it. But the top is all solid, no cracks. No cracks in the back either. But the sides are all messed up. Many cracks that we repaired and patched. And we're just getting ready to put it back together. Put the top back on. It's got most all the glue cleaned off, 90% of it. There's a little bit here and there on the edges. We're not going to mess with that. So, anyway, got most of the glue off of here. We've got a shim put on the sides because of the whole instrument. The back part was and the garland, I should say. This section here is not perfectly flat. There's a gap here. Anyway, we're getting ready to put the top back on, and just like the back, it doesn't quite fit too well. You can see a couple different lines. I don't know if they had put the back on and off a couple times or changed the ribs because they've been cracked so much. That might be because the wood was not seasoned properly when it was first made. So what we got to do is line it up here on the corners first. This is as if we were going to glue it. We would start with gluing just a little bit at a time to make sure it lines up. And you can see this corner's off a little. Line up the neck here, neck cavity. And this corner is pretty close, but off a little bit. There's a lot of movement in the body when it's loose like that. So we'll try and get a good idea of how well it's going to go together here. So it's critical when you start, once you get the glue on, you got to work fast. Okay, so we have the four corners centered, or aligned, I should say. Top is aligned. We'll put it sideways, flip it over, see how it looks from this side. There goes a clamp. The way this is carved, there's no flat edge there. It's kind of difficult to clamp. Clamping it over here. I need another corner clamp, and I don't have one. Broke. Anyway, we clamp it up as well as we can for now, just testing it. And you can see there's quite a gap there. I don't know how well you can see. Let's turn on the other light here. Yeah, there we go. Good 3/8 of an inch overhang there on the top, but the corners are right where they're supposed to be. So that's curious. That means either this is a different top from another cello, or the guy that made it was doing pretty much free form or freehand without a form. Yeah, there's a big gap there too. First part of that is because the garland and the ribs have all shrunk, which is one of the reasons there's so many cracks. I think it was probably another 3/8 inch overhang there. It's probably the wood was not seasoned enough. So the top, the neck joint lines up. The seams are all closing up properly to a certain extent. Take a look. Using a light on the inside so we can see where there's gaps. Yeah, it's quite an overhang there. And I'm looking up through here. So we'll take some carbon paper, slip that in there. I can feel it rubbing. And that will rub off on the top, show us where it's hitting and where it's not. Take a look through the end pin, get a good view of the top, see how that's fitting here. There is a high spot. And this bottom part here fits pretty well. Again, it's not perfect, so we're going to put some carbon paper in there. And get a rubbing. Now we're taking it apart and put the top back on probably half a dozen times or maybe a dozen times already to try and get it right. We've already shaved this down somewhat, but you can see where the carbon paper, it's kind of faint to see, but it's right along there. Some of the wood is sticking up, and here it's right there. It's pretty obvious on the white wood. It's easy to see. So we'll carve that down. Actually, we'll probably have to carve this whole piece down a bit with the chisel. And then we'll put the top back on again, clamp it up again, test it, see how it fits, and we'll start gluing it back together. That stove, we'll have to do this a couple more times before we get it fitting well enough to glue it together. Well, check in with us next time. We'll try getting it glued. Thanks for watching.